All right. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I had to reconfigure because I moved to go do some work to a location where I can move around. And unbeknownst to me, I was not expecting to be back this soon. But the Cleveland Browns running a full-on circus. The guy on my screen, this gentleman, let me be very respectful. His name is Tyler Huntley. And he is the sixth SIXTH quarterback on the Browns roster. You heard me, six. The Browns have six QBs on the roster. XIXTH. They signed this young man, Tyler Huntley, who played for them before. Very, very, very briefly. Don't be lost on his jersey number. Don't be lost on it. Don't let it escape you. This young man played for the Cleveland Browns. In 2024, he was on their roster. He made the 53-man roster. So he came into the league as an undrafted free agent, right? But in 2024, he found himself in Cleveland, I guess like camp or whatever, getting ready for the season. And they cut him, not trade. See, this is very, very good information. They released him because they couldn't find somebody to trade him to. Do not get lost on the jersey number. Don't let it escape you. There are six QBs on the roster. So the question is, who's getting traded? Who's getting released? Six QBs. Cleveland is running a soap opera and a full-on circus. Six QBs. And they said because Pickett and Dillon are hurt. Now, is Dillon out with a hamstring injury, or was he just nursing a hamstring injury? Now, mind you, they have four quarterbacks. So if Dillon isn't available, if Pickett isn't available, isn't that your fourth-string QB job? Isn't that why you're supposed to prepare your fourth-string QB to come on up and be QB2? I told y'all this was going to happen. I told y'all the moment that this happens, that Shedeur gets close to QB2, and I said injuries were going to happen because they never factor in injuries. They think they're going to bury Shedeur on the depth chart, and Dillon and Pickett and Flacco going to stay healthy. So Pickett is out with a hamstring. Dillon is nursing a hamstring. Shedeur didn't have an injury. He just had arm soreness that came from starting and stopping. But he showed up today. And Cleveland was like, yeah, we know you number 4. Again, they have sent the message. We don't give a damn who get hurt. You're not going to be a valuable part of our team. So once again, they have their franchise QB that they were going to pay $46 million to. For $4 million, fourth on the depth chart, 2 quarterbacks ahead of him get hurt. He should naturally be QB2 going into the preseason as QB1. They ran out and got another quarterback. I told y'all, I said, don't be surprised if they run out and get another quarterback, the closer Shedeur get to QB1. It proves that in the draft was not the only place that 17-32 was. That Cleveland is still colluding to make sure that Shedeur does not get to 17 or that he doesn't get to QB1. Spencer Rattler right now is supposed to be 17. Shedeur would technically be 18. So they ran out and did what I said. People thought they were going to get Kirk Cousins because he was making a noise because he didn't want to be QB2. Well, Shedeur technically should be QB2. I mean, really, he the best QB they have. But nobody's upset with Flacco starting and Shedeur going to QB2. I guess the owner said, not so fast. I'm going to need you to go get another quarterback. So they got Tyler from Miami. He had a Pro Bowl nod. He was going to be the replacement QB for Josh Allen in the Pro Bowl. His track record isn't too good with winning and losing, but I'm not going to put that around his neck. But the fact that he was in Cleveland, made the 53-man roster, and late in August, they cut him. They released him, meaning they put him on waivers, I guess, because they couldn't find a suitable trade partner. Who that sound like? What's his jersey number? Don't get lost. Don't get lost, people. Now, you know they have 6 quarterbacks. Don't get lost on the fact that he's also African-American. He's also black. Don't get lost on it. Don't get lost on it. What is it they don't want to appear? Right. So they went out and got themselves, yes, another quarterback. But they was like, well, let's get the black guy. Because, they going to say we're racist. They already saying we're racist. They're right. So you went and got this guy that you already had who made your roster and you cut him late before the season, which means he didn't get a game check from you. He didn't get a game check from you either. And now you want to do it again to Shedeur. And we're not supposed to see the racism. Oh, no, we see it. We see the circus you running. We see the hoops you jumping through, the ladders that I said they was going to climb to prevent this young man, Shedeur Sanders, from getting close to QB1. Because if he's QB2 with Pickett and Flacco and they injured before the season start, and Flacco is only good for how many games? 6, 7, 8, 6, 7. And Shedeur is QB2 behind somebody who can only play part-time. Guess who would emerge as QB1? So they went out and got this guy that they already cut from their roster, that they wasn't no interested in at all. He was minding his business down in Miami. Maybe on their practice squad. So instead of elevating the 4th string QB to QB1, after he proven to be the best QB on your roster, after you pre-draft extensively with him as your franchise QB, you went and got a guy who you released before because you couldn't find nobody to trade with. Is that what they're going to do to Shedeur? See, they like to send messages. They like to play games with people's lives. That's what this is. That's what this is. You wasn't interested in him before. Why are you interested in him now? He doesn't even have a winning record. It's probably not his fault. In the combine, he was the fastest QB that year. It didn't matter. He still went undrafted. Don't get lost on his jersey number, please. 6 quarterbacks. Somebody getting cut. Are they going to release him again when Dylan's hamstring is good? When Pickett's hamstring is good? Are they going to play with him in his face again? Or are they telling us, using him to tell us what they going to do to Shedeur? Put him on waivers and they're not going to find a suitable trade partner. And he just going to be released. Possibly end up on somebody's practice squad. Because he's not that good. Don't get lost, people. Don't let the message blow past you. Don't let the message blow past you. I told you they was going to do this. Fans are getting happy because it seems like Shedeur could be traded. This young man right here, signed by Cleveland for a second time after he was released because they couldn't find a suitable trade partner late August, which is before week 1. This young man right here is a reminder of what they do when they don't value you. It's also a reminder how they will use you, another black quarterback, just like Deshaun Watson, to pit against Shedeur Sanders. They used Deshaun Watson to pit against Shedeur Sanders, scapegoating Deshaun Watson. You see him out there putting Dylan out there, making him look bad. So he could try to beat out a QB1, Shedeur Sanders. Everybody falling hurt like I said they would. And they did exactly what I said they was going to do. Run out there and get another quarterback. But this time they went and got themselves a black quarterback to try to make Shedeur feel bad. We going to replace you. Good, do it. We going to put you on waivers and nobody going to claim you. Good, do it, because you said that's what you was going to do, right? When you gave out his phone number to 2,000 people who did not need to know, including equipment managers that he was throwing to last week, we was ready for this. That you going to cut him because you're not going to find a suitable trade partner. Because we discussed all last week what teams he could go to, and I said none. The only owner who could step up and do it is Jerry Jones. Has Micah signed his contract yet? Jerry Jones came out the other day and said he's refusing Micah's trade request, which I didn't know you could do that. But again, remember what happened when Deshaun Watson requested a trade? Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what we said would happen. The moment Shedeur gets close to QB1, it's a no-brainer Shedeur would end up QB1. Not just because the fans are calling for them to play the best guy. Not because his fan base is saying, give him a fair shot and watch him ball out. Not because they think he's not good. They know he's good. Look at how hard they are trying to hold him back. They went and got somebody who face they already played in, cut, sent through their training, didn't pay him a dime, and cut him before the first game check. Now they want to use Shedeur that way, and now they want to pit the two together. And don't be lost on his jersey number. I'm not saying this is their first black quarterback. They've had a lot of black quarterbacks. Where are they now? Where are they now? They went and got this guy who they don't believe in, who they didn't believe in before, they don't believe in now. Saying, well, we need to have another quarterback in case somebody get hurt so you don't see Shedeur on your roster. Your eyes are closed. That's how badly they don't want to win with Shedeur. Don't be lost on his jersey number. Don't be lost on it at all. This young man right here is what they set out to do to Shedeur. We gonna make you be a camp body, but we don't value you throughout the whole process. And then late in August, after you make the 53-man roster and you think you're gonna be around, before the first game check is due, we're not gonna trade you. We're gonna release you and say nobody else wanted you to further humiliate you. Somebody on X said, man, the humiliation ritual continues. I said, is that what we call it racism these days? A humiliation ritual? Not a coincidence. All these black quarterbacks getting pit against each other and being blocked by non-black people. It's not a coincidence. They wanted to say so badly that Mike Tomlin didn't draft Shedeur because he didn't want him. No. Mike Tomlin knew they were forcing Aaron Rodgers there, and Aaron Rodgers said it. If you draft Shedeur, don't worry about me. They wanted Aaron Rodgers, and now he ain't available next year. Technically, they can run back and get Shedeur. But as hard as they work to block him from Cleveland, from Pittsburgh, they're not going to do that. You don't see no team calling up asking about Shedeur because he can't be traded, just like he couldn't be drafted. I said they were going to do this. Those numbers came out. He the best QB on the roster. Now Dylan got a hamstring issue. It's their fault. They keep putting him out there, giving him all these reps, trying to turn him into a QB1 overnight, taking Shedeur Sanders' skill set for granted. They don't even want to see Shedeur Sanders. So you should be able to guess what their next play is by looking at this guy right here. It should tell you, yeah, you're going to make the 53-man roster, but before you get to week 1, before we have to pay you, we're going to cut you, release you, and say that we couldn't find nobody to trade with because don't nobody value your services. You know that's what the Carolina Panthers did to Cam Newton. They said he was untradeable because nobody wanted him. See, this is an old playbook. And they using it against somebody who's highly visible. So people are standing on their heads, but they still playing the same game. Threatening us with a good time by releasing Shedeur. If Shedeur leave the NFL, I promise you, he going to be better off. If they put him on waivers and nobody claim him, that's the best thing that could happen. Because if somebody does show up and hold him accountable and now they got to jump over to get him, they're going to have to give him a new contract. See, that's not a bad side to this for Shedeur. It might be a bad side for Tyler Huntley because if they're not giving him a new contract, if they're not paying him good money, well, they just playing in his face again. I put out a poll on X, so who going to be cut? Flacco, Shedeur, Dylan, Pickett, or this guy, Mr. Huntley. Let me be respectful. I don't even want nobody to think that I'm not respectful. In fact, it's a good thing he's familiar with the culture because it won't be a shock to him. You know, the anonymous assistant tried to say that Shedeur Sanders was going to be shocked when he found out how a locker room works. He know how a locker room works. He know the head coach can lose the locker room. We see them manipulating the Boitanos, the Myles Garrett, the Jerry Judys, so that those guys, the stars of the team, the perceived stars of the team, won't speak up about what's happening, won't have an opinion about what's happening, will feel like, well, you know what? I'm clamoring for the spotlight, so let me be the one Because if Shedeur with us, then the camera's going to follow him everywhere. They know what they're doing. Thankfully, this young man is familiar with how Cleveland conducts business. The team won't be a culture shock to him. Somebody said earlier they can see why a lot of players don't want to go to Cleveland. Hell, I see it too. Again, somebody getting ready to get their walking papers. I'm going to go with Shedeur. The closer we get to week 1, end of August, we're going to get to the 53-man roster. He probably going to make the roster. And then they're going to release him because they're not going to have a suitable trade partner. That's probably the plan. Because, I mean, that was already the plan. We're going to put you on waivers. That's the same thing. Nobody claim you. But that's the upside for Shedeur. Let it happen. Don't be in your feelings because he's going to get a new contract, whether it's from Canada or whether it's from the NFL. And he probably deserved to be somewhere else where he's treated with respect. And it would be a shame that he has to go to Canada. But then again, look at the current climate that we live in. It wouldn't be a surprise. Black people have gone abroad to be treated with respect oftentimes. This wouldn't be no different. The only good thing here for both of these guys, Tyler Huntley has been to Cleveland. He knows exactly who they are. Therefore, his expectations are level set. Shedeur, they will likely put him on waivers, as they have stated in their little prank when they gave out his phone number. But he gonna have to get a new contract if they gonna want him to come back. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody forced them to take him back. Maybe somebody different. Maybe the same person. They moving like they have no consequence to consider. We're gonna see how this turns out. The Browns are not running just a soap opera. It is a full-on circus. The name of the game is playing keep away at QB1 with Shedeur Sanders. I told you this would happen. I said it's going to happen. People thought it was going to be Kirk Cousins. I said the closer they got, he get to QB1, they're going to go get somebody else. And they went and got somebody else they already didn't believe in. So what does that tell you? If you need him to step in to take the place of Dillon and Pickett, why the hell wouldn't you get somebody that could truly take the place of Dillon and Pickett on the field? Why would you get somebody that has a losing record in the NFL that you already cut ties with? Because what you did to him is what you want to do to Shedeur. You want to use a black quarterback to block Shedeur Sanders. You tried it with Dillon. It didn't work. You don't think nobody will have compassion for this guy. They ain't going to compete against each other for you. They not. For what? Shedeur's already proven to be the best. He got to learn the plays. So if he got to learn the plays and the preseason game is Thursday, what are you expecting to happen? You didn't go get him to be a replacement on anybody's roster for a game coming up, and he just got here. He ain't even there yet. You went and got him so you could make Shedeur shaking his boots that you're going to cut him. He probably don't care. Free Shedeur. Hashtag free Shedeur. Using this guy, somebody that already played in his face once, running it back again, pitting him against another black quarterback. They got a 4th-string quarterback, proven to be the best, and they still don't want to make him QB2. I hope y'all see it. I hope you see the play. That way, you level set your expectations. The Cleveland fans going to have to figure it out if they're going to be okay with this. 6 quarterbacks. 6. Yes, it's a bonus that he's black because they don't want to appear what? And if you look at the history of black quarterbacks in Cleveland, then you know how this going to end. You know why they went and got him, even though they don't believe in him, to hold Shedeur back. It wasn't a good look when they did it with Dillon. They think nobody going to care about Tyler. But he got to learn the plays first. Shedeur might be gone. He might play this weekend. He might not. This could be their signal. Yeah, we're going to trade somebody. Yeah, that's what it is to me. It could also be the signal, we're going to trade you. I'm fine with that. They not going to break him. He closer to one step to freedom. Don't find a suitable trade partner? Okay, then I'm gonna get a new contract because that's what needs to happen. So let me know what y'all's thoughts about Cleveland running out and getting themselves a new quarterback rather than elevating Shedeur to QB2 because Pickett and Dillon have hamstring issues. Getting a quarterback that don't know the plays that they already released because they couldn't find a suitable trade partner that it already didn't believe in, that unfortunately does not have a winning record in the NFL. Do you think they're going to give him a real fair chance? Do you think they're going to give Tyler a fair chance? So let me know your thoughts. Let me check the comments right quick. We're supposed to be back at 10:35, but this was too important. The last thing I expected to hear today, other than they was releasing Shedeur, is they went and got somebody that can't help them play. That tells you that this is about releasing a black quarterback when everybody else is not black, releasing the best player on your roster who is black. So I'm going to just go get somebody else who is black, even though he can't help me win. So he's not going to get a real chance. More of the same. More of the same. Playing in these guys' faces, pitting them against each other. Hey, Shy Sky, how you doing? Hey, Mac, how you doing? It said, give us the tea. Yep, Peter, he came from the Utah Utes. So he was in the Big 12. He played for Utah. He went undrafted. In 2020, he got put in Baltimore, and he actually did replace Lamar Jackson when Lamar was injured. So he got a Pro Bowl nod as a replacement behind Josh Allen. He ran the fastest 40-yard dash time at the combine that we now know means absolutely nothing. He was the fastest QB there, running a 4.5, which is good for a QB. That's kind of what they, hope for, I guess. They don't expect them to run a 4.4. Don't forget, Jalen Milroe ran a 4.37. But again, the combine didn't matter. It didn't matter when it came to these guys. It seems like they just kind of draft and stock these guys. If I need you, I'm gonna pitch you against somebody else. I'm not gonna give you a real opportunity, but I'm gonna let you basically fill in for Lamar Jackson. So you go undrafted, but you gonna fill in for Lamar Jackson. There was nobody else on the roster that could fill in for Lamar Jackson. If I look at the depth chart in 2020 for Lamar Jackson, it was nobody else that could fill in. You trying to make Lamar scared because you put in a black quarterback? Did you take him from Miami because you want Quinn Ewers to bump up? This is not about football anymore. This is exactly what I meant in my last call that I said, yeah, if Shedeur gone, I'm gone. All of the quarterbacks out there. You want to play in this man's face. You want to still play in Shedeur's face. She said, I just heard the news and came here. Yeah, because it's crazy, right? Again, he's a nice guy, I'm sure, right? It said he signed with the Browns on March in 2024, made the initial 53-man roster, but was released in late August due to the lack of trade interest. He was then signed to the Baltimore Ravens practice squad. So they took him off the practice squad to fill in for Lamar Jackson. Y'all see it? It said, this is crazy. Please trade 12. Right. That's what people are like. Trade Shedeur. Trade Shedeur. But now that's the question. Are they going to trade him or are they going to treat him like this guy right here wearing this number 2? We going to release you and we not going to find a suitable trade partner. Because remember, there's no conversation happening in the spectrum that Shedeur is getting traded because you don't hear teams clamoring for Shedeur like they showed up for Bryce Young. They were pissed with the Carolina Panthers for how they were treated and how they benched Bryce Young. But in the draft, everybody was in on it. If you don't like the man, why did you draft him? If you didn't want the man, why did you draft him? If you don't want the man, why don't you trade him? Or are they going to try to further humiliate him by doing what? Releasing him and not finding a suitable trade partner. The exact thing that they did to Cam Newton. And what happened to Cam Newton? He went where? New England. And what happened up there? And what happened after that? It said they're using black quarterbacks against him. Right. They do it to each other. How is it the guy signed to the practice squad in Baltimore is the one that backs up, that replaces Lamar Jackson? Is this when Lamar Jackson was looking for a guaranteed contract? So you should now see, this is what I mean by this is way more than throwing a football. This is about, it's like these organizations, and I'm talking about Cleveland for sure, seemingly is spending all of its time trying to hold back a player they didn't want to draft, that they were forced to draft, sending him a message every day. We were forced to draft you, but we not keeping you. Then cut him. What, you scared? There's no downside here for Shedeur. I want y'all to, there is no downside. If he has come to the realization, and he likely will, if they treat him like they treat Tyler, let him make the roster, and then late August, before a game check is due, cut him. By that time, he should see nobody else wants to get him now. Nobody else wanted to draft him then because they can't. We already know you're the best player on the roster. We know you're going to be the best quarterback coming in to the draft. But why is it they keep pitting black quarterbacks against each other? We took a big swing at Deshaun Watson and missed. It's funny you didn't remember that until Andrew Berry told the Jacksonville Jaguars that they was going to trade that pick, the number 2 pick. They moved off Shedeur Sanders so easy after pre-drafting extensively because they weren't going to never draft him. That's why Myles Garrett is the face of their social media. So it's not just about holding them back. It's about how they pit them against each other. See, the public don't see this. The public doesn't see this. See, they think they're doing something. They think they're getting away with sending a message and nobody gonna really get it. Like it's an inside joke. That means they think everybody in their orbit is stupid. We're not. So 6 QBs is one step closer to somebody going out the door. And you ought to be able to know who it is. It probably should be Dylan. It's not going to be Pickett. They went and got Pickett off of Philadelphia's roster who had just won the Super Bowl. He could still be over there trying to run it back. But they wanted DTR over there. And it was more important to have DTR, who's black, behind Jalen Hurts, who's black. It's like the name of the game is playing keep away with Shedeur. So they doing all of this, everything. Ducking and dodging answers and questions, just exposing themselves all over the place just to hold Shedeur back, only to cut him and not find a suitable trade partner. Then he's going to be free to write a book. I would definitely approach him. They hurting their own self in the process. I don't think they see it yet. The upside for Hundley, hopefully he got a new contract and he finally gets some money from them this time. Let's see if they let him go at the same point where they let him go before. And he gonna have a grievance or a problem. Nothing the NFL Players Association can do about it, but there are people watching. So, ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, if you're just not joining us, the 6th quarterback in the circus that is known as the Cleveland Browns. From a soap opera to a full-on circus. Why you just didn't release somebody before you went and got this guy? If Shedeur is your 4th-string quarterback and you hell-bent on holding him back, why you just didn't release him and go get this guy? Because you want to bring in this guy and think you're going to make Shedeur shaking his boots. Good luck with that shit. He ought to be getting happy that he about to be set free one way or another to tell his damn story. just like the one coming out tomorrow. And thank you, Freeman and Wild Dog, for the cash apps because I'm buying the book tonight. It's supposed to be out tomorrow. They said you can pre-order it. I'm looking forward to it. Called Turf Wars. So yeah, they're using black quarterbacks against each other. That's facts. This exposes how Cleveland really thinks and feels. Yep, there you go. That's what it is. That's what it is. Shots guys say it's ignorance. Yep. Also learning under Lamar Jackson as a backup. He was on the practice squad. Val said he favors Lamar. He's a nice guy, I'm sure. It said that boy weak. This clown organization is pulling out all the stops to try to shake this man. It's not going to work. Right. What did we say earlier? Shedeur is unfazed. We said it. He's unfazed. He went back to 2023 Shedeur. Y'all know 2023 Shedeur been through something, right? Being betrayed by people on the inside, being betrayed by people on the outside. And he still emerged as the best quarterback. It's not a coincidence that his Johnny Unitas Award was just delivered and placed in Colorado. That's all they talking about in Colorado. People going to start tuning the Cleveland Browns out. I was ready to go start following the people on social media because I'm convinced he on the way out the door. It would have made sense if he's fourth string and you not going to elevate him at all to just go ahead and release him because we knew you was going to put us on waivers because you told us about that, right? We knew you was going to do that. But to go and play in somebody else's face and to pit two black quarterbacks against each other. Again, organizational malpractice, negligence, discriminatory. He can't help you in the preseason. Are you going to keep him until after the preseason? And then what happens when the others get hurt and he's there? You going to trade him too, like musical chairs, like a carousel? Because one day a black quarterback is going to emerge at the top of your roster. You're going to expand all the black players' faces you could play in, and somebody going to still get there. Because that's what this is about, ladies and gentlemen. They've never drafted a first-round QB who's black in the first round ever. That's number one. That means I don't want a black quarterback leading my team. And since 2012, since the current ownership came on board, they've had a plethora of black quarterbacks. Where are they now? Careers just chewed up and spit out, whether they win or lose. This guy was a part of that. 2024, they had a horrible season. They rotated 4 quarterbacks. So they're going to go get him again and run it back again after he was a camp body for them. Didn't pay him a dime. Hopefully his previous contract covered it. Then sent him to Miami. Now he back to block Shedeur, supposedly. But he don't know the plays. So it must mean you going to trade Shedeur. In the same fashion, you release this guy. Okay. We ready? Shedeur not phased and we not phased either. I appreciate the heads up. Again, I'm all ready to unfollow Cleveland because I said it last week. They in my rearview mirror because I feel like Shedeur going to get traded. Every day as we get closer, they're doing things to show you somebody get ready to go out the door. And if at the last minute it's not Shedeur, then it's because they can't. It's because they cannot. Yep. Wow. 6 quarterbacks. 6 quarterbacks. It said the day will come that Shedeur Sanders and the team that values him comes up against the Cleveland Browns and serve them up. Yeah. I don't know. And the reason why I don't know, Mike Tomlin probably was the last black head coach that they were visibly trying to strip of their power. They started out with 6. They have 4. Todd Bowles is 1. C.J. Stroud's coach is another one. Do you have, who's another one? You have Pittsburgh Steelers. That's 3. Who's the 4th black quarterback? 4th black head coach. Did you see what happened to C.J. Stroud last year? CJ Stroud in year one put that team on his back. That's all they talked about in Houston. Put that team on their back and got close and got cheated by the refs. Likely the same refs who just got fired because it was against Kansas City. Everybody talked about it. In year two, he was planning to run it back. Then his O-line suddenly couldn't function. And then they started stripping the team away to the point people were asking, what the hell are the Texans doing? The same thing the Philadelphians are doing. The Philadelphia Eagles just won the Super Bowl. They disassembled that team like that. It's a pattern. Lamar Jackson not going to the Super Bowl is not a coincidence. Getting all of the weapons possible. If you put the weapons they went and got for Lamar Jackson to throw to, put them in a video game with their skill set, they're going to win. Coaching held them back. Somebody on X said, who stopped the Baltimore Ravens from getting to the next level? The coaches, just like Stefanski stopping the Cleveland Browns. But they doing somebody else's bidding. And you could probably figure out who. The owners. This is happening all around the league. This young man is being passed around. Shedeur going to be passed around. Geno Smith was passed around. If they can't pass you around because you first rounder like CJ Stroud or Jalen Hurts, they pick your team apart. So you can't make it back. They did the same thing to Steve McNair. That's how far this goes back. What's happening to Shedeur happened to Vince Young. We don't want you. And they treated him like it every single day and tried to ruin him. Like they trying to do Shedeur and it didn't work. I told you the difference between Vince Young and Shedeur Sanders is Coach Prime. Vince Young did not have that type of environment that he grew up in. He didn't have that type of support system. That's not his fault. But it is wrong for the NFL to try to tear these players down like this, to pit these black players against each other. Deshaun Watson pitted against Shedeur. Black quarterbacks stacked up on teams, one behind the other. That's what this is exposing. I said the longer Shedeur is in Cleveland, the more the truth is going to come out. So if he's still there, or they can't release him because they want to, but they can't, for some sense of liability, then there's more truth for us to learn. We just turned a new page. I rest my case in this whole reps bullcrap saying, hey, I'm good. He leaving. So before we get to the door, we don't even get in the door. Before we even get to the door, before we can even approach the door, put our hand on the doorknob, swing it open, and not look back at these people who are in our rearview mirror, we find out something else. It's bigger than Shedeur. They're using black quarterbacks against each other, which is why they're stacked up on teams together, while the white QBs spread out. And if it's a white QB, it's going to be one or two QBs in between him and a black QB. This is about the NFL now. So that we don't forget, the draft was not happenstance. Yep. The truth is coming out. I said it. He's not going to leave there until we know enough that somebody could take the information and do something with it. People use my videos. I'm fully aware. Some use it just to do whatever, but some use it for research, to go along with their research. It said Jerry Jones liked to sign at the last moment. Yeah. They said the Dallas Cowboys, who have not signed Michael Parsons yet, told Jerry Jones delivered a message to his fan base, don't lose no sleep over this. In other words, it's just a part of negotiations. They're going to sign Michael Parsons at the last minute. Shedeur Sanders' contract is $4 million. They can sign them both. I told you, he's the only owner that could do it. And if everybody else is going to go along with the program, he's the only one that can buck the system. But he might not want to. It said Mike Tomlin is the last coach who they would send him to, in my opinion, right? Because why? Mike Tomlin actually had two black quarterbacks. One of them was supposed to be QB2. That's Russell Wilson. He emerged to QB1. They went to the playoffs. That's what you want, right? But they forced him out of there. All pre-8, they manipulated the stats just like they do with Shedeur to try to say that Aaron Rodgers was better and that Russell Wilson was washed up. Why you think they trashing Russell Wilson? The same reason that it's written into Kyler Murray's contract that he absolutely is forced to watch film. That Lamar Jackson still hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl. That it just appears that somebody couldn't hold on to the ball. All three of them were central to the collusion case. So they forced Russ out of Pittsburgh, made him interview with two teams. One was Cleveland. So, of course, they didn't want him, but they went and got Tyler. They could have had Russell Wilson. They could have had Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and Shedeur Sanders. They didn't want to win with Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson had to go interview with the Giants. And when he interviewed with the Giants, they made him wait because they wanted to give Aaron Rodgers the opportunity to decide. Then they got tired of waiting on him. So they signed Russ and Winston, and they were planning to make both of them backups, which is why you hear people saying it was a waste of time to draft them. But now that Jackson Dart, the draft is over. Jackson Dart not good. Now they say Russ gonna start. Let's see if they run out and make a trade. Let's see if they trade Winston for Shedeur, or if they trade Winston to New Orleans because they need a quarterback. See, their plan is messing up. They thought it was just enough to hold back Shedeur in the draft because they were successful. They left the draft concluded with 16 black starting quarterbacks instead of 17. Like Shedeur, 17. Now you see them manipulated in the season. I told you when they get to this moment, when Shedeur get close to QB1 by being QB2, they're going to go get somebody else. And that tells you it's more important to keep Shedeur away from QB1. What was my question yesterday? Why hasn't the media asked? If he was going to be your franchise QB at $46 million, you got him at $4 million. He's proven the best on the roster currently. Why don't you start him? Nobody will ask the question. Everybody getting hurt, just like I said was going to happen eventually, just in the season. And they went and got somebody else. Somebody else they don't believe in, who happens to be black, that wears the number 2 jersey, that they played in his face. Released him, he was untradeable. No suitable trade partner. So that's where they're at. That is the circus up there. Let's see what the media do with it. It said Mike Vick and Vince Young lashed out to the media when this happened to them. Shedeur has remained cool so far, and he should. It's been people who've been dealing with this a lot longer than Shedeur. Now y'all know why Jalen Hurts don't say nothing to nobody. I wouldn't either. Jalen Hurts, that's how you do it. Russell Wilson, that's how you do it. Don't live your life. Live your life. Don't expect nothing from these people. Go out here and be the best you could be. You see, they trying to tear down Jalen Hurts after he won the Super Bowl. Somebody came to me today when we were talking about quarterbacks on X and said Pat Mahomes wasn't like the most important thing in Kansas City. It was Andy Reid. I'm like, oh, that's what we doing. So now that Pat Mahomes' numbers are on the decline, the refs are gone, so they can't cheat. Y'all about to trash Pat Mahomes. All right, well, whatever. There's a lesson there. Shedeur should just go to Canada. That's probably what's going to happen. See, I want you to know there's no downside to Shedeur getting released from Cleveland. One, he's free of the circus. He's free of the circus because it's a circus. Two, if nobody claims him because they can't find a suitable trade partner, that means the contract for $4 million is toast. It's done. So when somebody does decide to come back and get him, whether he goes to Canada first or if it takes 30 days or whatever it is, then guess what? He gets a new contract. So again, threaten him with a good time. Shedeur is ready, believe it or not. He is. Shedeur is ready. They know Shedeur is ready. That's why they keep doing everything they can. They're actually showing everybody, y'all doing everything y'all can to hold him back. He right there, but you went and got number 6. Why you just don't elevate him to number 2? And make the other 2, 3 and 4. Because it's more important to hold Shedeur back. Huntley was jobless. How is having him playing the game. He wasn't jobless. He was in Miami. He came from Miami. He wasn't jobless. He was not jobless. That's why I say we're gonna be respectful because we're not gonna tear down Huntley. We see that we point out that they using the pitting one against the other one. You're correct, Clara. Shedeur is ready. Tyler will give Shedeur the 411 for sure. Right. See, that's what I meant. Tyler already knows he not gonna be in a culture shock. I got this, little bro. I got this. There's nothing else for Shedeur to do. Just go out there and enjoy your teammates that you like. Just go out there throwing to the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. If you auditioning, it might be for Canada, but they know who you are. They probably ready to have you there. And if none of that work out, then that means God wants you to start your own league. Take your resources. Take what your father taught you. Because y'all, if anybody can do it, the Sanders can. If anybody can do it, the Sanders can. There is no downside to Shedeur being released from Cleveland. None. It's not going to phase him. It ain't going to hurt his pockets. That contract going to die. And that's what needs to happen. I don't believe Dylan have a hamstring issue. He wasn't playing up to par. And now all of a sudden he got an injury. Same thing with Kenny Pickett. Same thing with Pickett. They say, man, just release Sanders and stop playing. Yep, that's it. That's it. They trying to humiliate one. And again, they were doing it with Dylan. And they probably got their coattails pulled. So they went and got a black quarterback because ain't nobody going to say nothing. That's how they feel. But here's the thing, right? It ain't going to matter. Because they can put him there. And you can move Shedeur out the way, just like they did in the draft. And when you keep moving forward with Dylan and Pickett and Shedeur is gone, Tyler going to be right there. And he going to be the one to emerge against their wishes. They're not going to be able to hold him back. See, Cleveland is putting their back up against the wall, just like the New York Giants. I want you to think about this for a minute. All right? The Giants went through hell to not get Shedeur. And they ended up with Russ. And they thought, okay, we don't want him either, but we get Jackson Dart, so we're going to be good. Well, that didn't work out, did it? And now they got Russ. He's the guy. In New Orleans, another player from the same draft who should have been Milroe took Milroe's place. Remember, Milroe's comp is Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson, runs a 4.37. They push Milroe out the way and put in Tyler Shaw. He goes to New Orleans. That ain't working out, is it? Spencer Rattler is the guy. So for all y'all that thought this was about Coach Prime and the Sanders name, nope. It is not. It is about playing keep away with black quarterbacks at QB1. So they held back in the draft Shedeur and Milroe. And I said it. Let me see what you're going to do in the season. Because it ain't going to work like you thinking. Because they don't ever think about the unexpected. What the unexpected is happening in Cleveland. First it was Pickett. Now it's Dylan. So Shedeur should go from 4 to 2. But again, we're still playing keep away with the black QB at QB1. At the starting position, or at least the position in line to start, which is QB2. So I'm going to go get somebody else. Cool. You ended the draft with 16, and you already got Russ as the starter, and now you got Spencer Rattler at the starter. So that means that Jackson Dart and Tyler Shaw being replaced after you overpaid both of them. They were proven to not be top 5 picks. But you went and got them anyway because that was your preference. So again, running out to get Tyler to pit him against Shedeur going to be gone. Tyler is going to rise. Probably to be the first black long-term successful starter in Cleveland if they don't take him down from the inside. So they're not stopping nothing. That's my point. This ain't about Shedeur. That's the lie they told. They lied to us about Shedeur, the facility. Their show is gone off the air. This is not about the Sanders family. This is about playing keep away at QB1. And Shedeur probably not going to end up in Pittsburgh because they know Mike Tomlin probably not going to hold Shedeur back because he want to win. So you want me to go out here and lose to hold back Russell Wilson? Hell no. So he decided to win and elevate Russell to QB1. Well, they pissed off at him and took both of his black quarterbacks are gone, and he got 2 white quarterbacks. There were people who were shocked that Justin Fields got the hell out of Pittsburgh. I'm like, why? He saw the writing on the wall. They revoked Mike Tomlin's power. And in the draft, they try to play in his face by telling him negative things about Shedeur to make him move off of Shedeur. And when he did, they thought it was hurting Mike Tomlin and Shedeur, Mike Tomlin against Shedeur. Instead, Mike Tomlin said it. He would have been a backup behind Aaron Rodgers, and that don't make no sense. And he's right. So Mike Tomlin did him a solid. Just like Justin Fields could see the writing on the wall and got the hell out of there, Mike Tomlin saw the writing on the wall in the draft and intentionally did not draft Shedeur to put him behind Aaron Rodgers. So when you start to see these people wanting to make it right, then they on the right path. But right now, the name of the game is playing keep away with QB1 for Shedeur Sanders and Milroe too. They just think they got him buried enough. Yep, that's embarrassing. Yep, free Shedeur. That should be your mantra. Just free Shedeur. There's no downside. And if Shedeur ever see this, there is no downside for you. Yes, this is something you wanted to do your whole life, but that's what they want to exploit. Your passion for the game, the fact that your dad played, the fact that your legacy, the fact that you're famous. They want to exploit all of it. They want to exploit all of it. There's no downside. There's no downside at all to being released by the NFL. You can start your own league. You just like Jerry Jones is one of the few owners that can get Shedeur. Shedeur Sanders is one of the few people who could run out here, start a league, and it work. Or you could go to Canada and 2 million people gonna follow you. That's not the same for everybody else. There is no downside to this. The truth is being exposed from here on out about how Cleveland does business, how the NFL does business, and it's not just holding black quarterbacks. It's pitting them against each other. So now when you see 2 black quarterbacks stacked on the same team together, you should now know what the hope is. That they're pitted against each other. It's sad, but makes sense. All because they hate Prime. It has nothing to do with Prime. This don't have nothing to do with Prime. The NFL has had an ugly history, and NFL black quarterbacks have been in an abusive relationship with the NFL since the 1920s. The 1920s. It continues today. That's the message. This has nothing to do with Coach Prime. Lamar Jackson is not Coach Prime's son. Jalen Hurts is not Coach Prime's son. Tyler, this guy right here, Huntley, he is not Coach Prime's son. Cam Newton is not Coach Prime's son. Neither was Marlon Briscoe. Neither was Doug Williams, Warren Moon, Kyler Murray, Donovan McNabb. None of them. Michael Vick. None of these guys are Coach Prime's sons, and they all been through it. Terrell Pryor, Joe Gilliam. None of these guys are Coach Prime's sons. That's why this is happening. That's why Shedeur is still in Cleveland, so the truth can come out. They're pitting these black players against each other. So it shouldn't be a surprise to you when people like Chris Carter fall for the bait and stands up and says ignorant comments about Shedeur should have been this. He should have been different that. It wouldn't have mattered because he's still going to be black. The truth is coming out. So while they playing games, God is speaking truth. And if you can listen and you can understand, you see what's going on. We have moved to a new chapter. The NFL stacking black quarterbacks on the same team and pitting them against each other. Scapegoating one to humiliate the other. Also, they could deter, devalue, and destroy their careers. So I came on here to give y'all the breaking news. We're going to get out of here because I got to come back at 10:35. We got to get to the Buffs. It's going to be interesting this season with Shedeur in the league because I don't see things changing. Don't know what quarterback, what team he could go to where the coach is going to go against the owner. So again, it would have to be an owner. to want to make a trade for Shedeur. Again, I'm keeping my eyes on Dallas. It might not happen. It honestly could happen with or without Michael Parsons' contract because Shedeur's contract is only $4 million. But Shedeur got it. That contract need to go away. That contract need to go away because that standard NFL contract of $4 million for 4 years hurts his career earnings. So being cut, being waived, being released with no trade partner means that contract dies. Go to Canada, play ball. If it's too late, just take the free time to start your own league. You and your buddies talked about it, do it. It will be successful. If anything, Shedeur Sanders' generation, Shedeur Sanders it understands how to use the media to his benefit. So start your own league. Start your own league. You need to be rid of that damn contract. It's sad, but it makes sense. Yep. He was there before. Yep, he was in 2024. It's a big circus. Yeah, it's sad. Like, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. Like, it tells you what this season is going to be. It tells you the whole NFL season is going to be a circus filled with mediocrity based on preference and talent ignored, stacked up on a bench somewhere so they can have their preference run out there on the field. But see, it's already failing. It's already failing with Tyler Shaw and Jackson Dart. They got their replacements. Russell Wilson, Spencer Rattler. Let's see what hoops they go through to hold them back. It's not even about watching football no more. The NFL has decided to entertain us with holding the black QB back from success, the Super Bowl winning. You think they want 2 more QBs that are black in the NFL Super Bowl again? This will be the 3rd time. This year, 2025, will be the 3rd time 3 black quarterbacks get drafted. In the 1st round, they stopped that. This is not about football anymore. This is about holding back people they can't stop and not learning when to quit. So I'm going to get out of here. We're going to see y'all later. Wanted to bring the breaking news. This is a great guy, I'm sure. Tyler, like I said, the upside for him is hopefully he got a good contract out of this. 6 quarterbacks now in Cleveland. I said this was going to happen. Likely means somebody for sure is getting let go. And this guy's in this story in Cleveland in 2024 is likely what they're going to try to do to Shedeur. Have him make the roster and late August, release him with no suitable trade partner, which is good because he gets to get rid of that damn contract. But this guy right here is familiar with the culture in Cleveland, so he won't be shocked. It won't be a shock to his system, and he know exactly what's going on. So it might be good for Shedeur to have a familiar face on the roster. That's the good side that comes out of them stacking these black quarterbacks together like this. They not alone dealing with this type of racial bias, which is not easy to deal with. All right, y'all. We're going to see y'all later. Thank you for the 200 people hanging out. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. The saga continues. And I'll be back 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be talking about the Buffs and any other clown activity happening with the Cleveland Browns or the Cleveland Clowns, either one. All right, I'm going to see y'all later. Thank you. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.